Last year, when I was a fresh-faced mobile developer, I developed my first app for other people to use. It's the app I'm showing here, and the premise being is that it's really important to understand your physical wellness, especially when it comes to training and competition time in sports. With that, you'll then be able to get the most out of yourself at the right times. In 2022, my local Ultimate Frisbee team were competing at the World Championships, and they wanted a solution that would help them keep track of their team's key kind of physical wellness metrics throughout the competition. So I made the app that you're looking at, but I made it in a bit of a rush. I had about 2 weeks to make the app, and as you can imagine, with all of that, it wasn't very well made. Recently, I was on App Store Connect looking at some of my other apps, and I saw a review for this app from someone who was outside of the team that I originally made it for. Initially I thought, awesome, that's cool, someone else has used it. But then I saw the review and they had a bad experience. So now that I have a bit of free time, I wanted to make version 2 of this app. The goal is going to be to have a more functional, more stable, and more user-friendly app. This isn't going to be a replacement for SquatVA, I'm not dropping SquatVA or anything. This is just a mini-series that I'm going to do between episodes. So, let's get started. After re-downloading the app and playing around for a bit, I went into Notion and started writing out what I wanted the app to do and trying to redefine the sort of primary use case and workflows. First and foremost, I decided that this should be a personal wellness tracker before anything else. So you'll get asked a series of questions each day, and then you can review your results to help you determine, is your training load too high? Is there something you need to change about your sleep or your eating? Once we've got that, then I'll add in the functionality for coaches to be able to create events, so something like the World Championships. They'll be able to add players, and then from there they'll be able to see each team member's wellness metrics. That'll make it easier to manage pitch time and keep people fresh throughout the competition. Once I had all of that in mind, I reached out to someone on Fiverr to help with the design, because as you can maybe tell, the design is rubbish. While waiting for them to get back to me, I reacquainted myself with the codebase and the database, and then just got stuck in. First up was getting the app structure improved. So I've set up 3 tabs on the main screen, and then there'll be multiple tabs within the event screen. I've not quite figured that bit out yet. From there, I'm going to work through tab by tab. So starting with the first tab, I wanted to redesign the daily questionnaire, or this form that you have to fill in. I've included radio buttons because I think it's just a bit easier and kind of cleaner to use. Once we got that changed, it was on to making sure that I could store everything correctly in the database, and I could only answer the question once a day. This feature was actually kind of annoying to test, so I changed the limit to once a minute, just to speed up testing and development. I then updated the screen for after you've completed the survey, showing you the results and how long until you can next fill it in. Once I got that done, I moved on to the review or the history tab. Here I wanted to show a graph of your overall wellness compared to your baseline, but then also a calendar where you can review each day and you can get more detail by clicking on that day. Those 2 tabs combined make up the main functionality required for a solo user. So I think we're going to stop there, and I think it's time to take a break and maybe play some golf. In the next episode, we're going to tackle the app from the perspective of a coach and a team trying to kind of track the overall wellness. Hopefully as well, our Fiverr designer gets back to us and we can start to implement a better UI and it'll look a bit nicer. I've taken a slightly different approach this time and only really showed the end outcome rather than the process of getting to each bit of functionality. Let me know if you prefer this approach or the one where I go into a bit more detail on kind of each functionality. Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, that's all for today. Subscribe for more updates on this as well as SquatVA, and I'll see you next time.